We are live. I hope that's not trademarked. I'm super excited to be here. I think that the Detroit Lions might be one of the hottest teams to talk about right now, might be the hottest team where there's so many things going on. And I feel like if you are a true fan of sports, you love seeing the Lions come to life and actually do things and make things amazing. And anybody that can bring Eminem out of the house, sign me up. So I'm super excited that you're here to talk about the Lions, all things Detroit. So welcome, Jason. Give me your intro. Let me have it. Let me know all the amazing things about you. So let us know who you are. Because I know you, let us know where we can find you and the things that you work on. And then let us know how long you've been a fan. Give us all the details, as many details as you want to give us.
Okay. Well, first of all, what up, though? All my Detroiters out there. Yeah, I'm Jason Rutley. Born and raised in Pontiac, Michigan, which is the home of the Pontiac Silverdome,
There
legendary
it
Pontiac Silverdome, from 1975 to 2002, till they demolished it a few years later, and then now we're at Ford Field. But I am, like I said, born and raised in Pontiac. Grew up a Lions fan from as far as back as I can remember, probably like the early 90s. Early 90s, my family moved back to Pontiac from Grand Rapids. I'm originally from Pontiac. We moved to Grand Rapids, then back to Pontiac. My dad worked for General Motors, so you know how that goes.
Yep.
And we moved back to in '92 to a house maybe about 11 minutes from the Silverdome, maybe 10 minutes, just
Nice.
right up Updike. Well, Auburn, and then you make a left on Updike, and then and Silverdome is right there on the left side. And so, we grew up going to the practices, the what do you call it? I almost said spring training, but like like the practice when they have like double sessions and all that.
Yeah, the when they invite the other team
Training
in or
camp,
whatever. Yeah,
training
yeah,
camp.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we used to go to all the training camps. We met Benny Blades and Tracy Scroggins, and
Yes.
actually, my dad is a pastor, and so that's what brought us back to Pontiac in '92. So we had about maybe eight to 10 Lions that came and visited the church. We had about 3 or 4 that joined. One of the ones that joined was one of my favorite players at the time. I don't know if you remember a player named Glenn Milburn.
I don't.
Okay, Glenn Milburn wore number 22 for the Denver Broncos. He was there when like Terrell Davis was there,
Okay.
and he was like Terrell Davis's backup, but he also was the kick returner for the Denver Broncos. He
Okay.
ended up coming over to the Lions. He joined our church. He was a really big part of our youth department.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then we also had Robert Porche, who's one of the all-time sack leaders on the sack list in the NFL. So look up Robert Porche, number 91. He was also a member of the church. So
Nice.
we were able to meet his family. We sat. We know his ex-wife Kim, and we know all the kids. And now they're all grown. And one of his sons, I think, just graduated college. But they're doing amazing. But we used to sit in the suite with them, with his mom, his dad, everybody. Like it was so cool, like having that
Yeah.
experience. I remember one Monday night football game, Mike Allstott, big Mike Allstott was a big fullback. I just remember him jumping over the pile, like, and seeing it like right there. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like to
I love
literally
that.
grow up watching Barry Sanders, Tanisha, is like was one of the best memories I ever have. And I have a picture with him. I ran into him at Secretary of State, um, like 2018 on my birthday, like January 4th, 2018. Ran into him at Secretary of State, got a picture with him. I'm just really excited.
Okay, so can you send, I don't, if you don't want to, you don't have to.
Yeah,
When this episode goes live, if I can figure out a way to edit it, can you send me the picture so I can try to put it up?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
easy. That's easy.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Robert Porche, Luther Ellis, Tracy Scroggins, Cedric Irvin used to. He used to go to my aunt's because my aunt had a Bible class on Monday nights. He couldn't come to service on Sundays, but he was always there on Monday nights. This is Michael Irvin's cousin, Cedric Irvin.
Mm-hmm.
He used to attend. He used to play at Michigan State, and he was a Lion for about maybe 2 or 3 years. But
That's so cool.
Dion Maddox, to this day, we're good friends with Dion Maddox, Kez McCorvey. Like like it's just cool to know that like I almost felt like my dad played for the Lions because there was so many Lions that we used to see all the time. We used to
Yeah.
go up to the training camp when they eventually moved it from Pontiac, and when they went to Detroit, they moved the training camp to Allen Park. And I remember like just being a kid up in Allen Park and like we're eating lunch with the Lions. You know, these big guys eating these big plates of food after they just worked out and practiced. And I even remember one practice we stayed after. I don't know if you remember Aaron Gibson. Aaron Gibson is one of the biggest offensive linemen in NFL history. This
How
dude,
big was he?
oh my God. He was like over 400 pounds.
Okay.
And he had like a massive head. Like make sure you look him up. Aaron Gibson. Now he does advertisements for sunglasses and hats, and he's always talking about, yeah, you know, I used to have to fit this NFL helmet on my head, and if they can, and he always talks about like helmets and stuff like that, and
Cool.
you know, some sunglasses and stuff.
I
But
just sent you a chat, but only you and I can see it.
okay, cool. All right, cool. So, okay, cool. Got you.
Yeah.
All right.
So can I just want to tell you something because this matters to me. When I thought about this idea of talking to people that from all 32 teams, fans, like I thought it was crazy. And then I was like, I think this might actually be a cool thing because there's certain teams we never get to hear from, different things like that. The first person I thought about was you because you were with the Lions like when they weren't good. You were with the Pistons when they
you remember that?
Yes, that's what I was saying. So like,
they used to ruin my Sundays.
Right. Like I feel like I've been on this journey with you, you know, of like, and it's one of those things where it's like, I can't help but be excited for you because I remember when it was bad, like bad. And so it's like you, and then there's a couple of people I'm talking to that I've known for a long time too. But you, and then there's somebody that was a Ravens fan. I've known him for a long time, and I knew that he would come and talk to me, and he would kind of leave the Steelers Ravens kind of like thing to itself. So immediately I was like, I have to have Jason come talk to me about the Lions because this is the time where you get to like all the trash you haven't been able to talk.
That's what's
I'm like, I am giving him this moment on my platform to come and brag
Thank you.
about his Detroit Lions.
Hey, listen, but you know what? When you've been in existence for as long as we have, I don't have enough to brag. Like I just want to see it continue, and I think we will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not the delusion. Now, I do believe that the Lions are going to the Super Bowl this upcoming season.
I don't think that's delusional though. Now,
yeah, it used to be delusional.
It used to be,
it used to be delusional. And I was not one of those guys. I would not say, "Oh, we're going to." I just wanted my things in order. I wanted to win the division because we hadn't done that since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I wanted to win the division. I wanted to win a playoff game. So last year they superseded my expectations. Now I did not believe that we could win multiple playoff games, and we had a good road record, so I didn't care where we played. But to be, I think we were the third seed, or were we the second? No, we were third.
Whatever it was, I knew y'all should have been the other seed because remember that call in Dallas.
Yeah. Yep.
Where y'all should have won that game.
We would have been the one seed had we beat Dallas because San Francisco had lost a couple of games at the end.
Yeah, it was really wonky.
Yeah, you know, so we ended up 12-5, and I think San Fran was like 13-4. But we would have won the tiebreaker somehow or whatever. But anyway, they definitely satisfied. I mean, it would have been really nice to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, oh my God, we were right there.
Yeah. Listen, I have I'm telling you, I remember the days when it was like whatever. And I always like, I love seeing people happy, especially when they've been through it, you know, and when you've been loyal, and you did some relocating and all the things, but that was still like your team.
Yeah.
And people aren't that loyal anymore.
Yeah, I
And so
did.
I just,
Yeah. To your point, we did relocate from Michigan to Phoenix to Arizona in December 2021.
do you remember
So
the first question I asked you
what was
when
that?
you moved? I said, because at the time, remember the Cardinals were like, I think they were like 8-0 or something. And I
Oh,
said, well, how does it feel to go from the worst team in the NFL to
yeah.
the best team in the NFL? Because at the time or whatever, I was like, did you change your fandom or are you whatever I said?
A few
And you
people,
said, absolutely not. And I was
right?
like,
Yeah.
cool. Like, I respect that, like,
Yeah, I had a lot of
because,
friends. Yeah, they were like, "Oh, you're a
yeah,
Cardinals fan now?" I'm like, "Never, bro. Like, no Cardinals, no Diamondbacks, no Coyotes, like no Phoenix, nothing, no Suns. I'm
hmm,
Pistons, Lions, Red Wings, Tigers, and
yeah,
Michigan State.
that is
Like,
your team. I
period.
respect it. I
Yeah.
respect it. So
Yeah.
I do need to bring up the playoffs because I'm curious to know what you think as a fan,
Mhm.
and really what the whole fan base thinks. Like, what did you all think of Coach going for it so many times
Yeah.
on fourth down? I mean, that's
Yeah.
who he was during the season. So in a weird
Right.
way, I wasn't shocked. And
Right.
if the guy catches the ball, it was the right call.
Yep.
But
Yep.
how did you feel about that as a Lions fan?
So this is how it goes. I'll speak for myself as a Lions fans because
Okay.
they're, as you know, fans are all over the place. Everybody
Of
feels he feels this way, he
course.
feels this way, she feels this way. So this is how I feel. Yes, Dan Campbell is Dan Gamble. Like, yeah, like that's what he does. Like, I'm okay with it. I love it because if you rewind a few seasons back to the best record that a head coach ever had in Detroit, which was Jim Caldwell, he was 36 and 28 in his 4 years.
Okay.
9-7 twice, 11-5, and 7-9 were his records for 4 years.
Okay.
As good of a coach as he was a better leader of men than he was a coach. I feel like he
Fair.
had like all the tools to be a great coach, but when it came to Sunday, man, he wouldn't take challenges. His face was like the same. Like he didn't go for like I love Dan Campbell's like his drive, his grit, his
He's
like
going for it.
yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
He's aggressive. I
Yeah.
love our general manager. He's aggressive. I love the aggression and the grit that this is what the Lions are about. And I sit back and I look at Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson, and I know they wish that this is what kind of regime and front office and coaching staff that they were able to play. They would love this, and you
Yeah.
can see it
I
in their
agree.
eyes. They light up like little kids when they're out there with those
They
guys.
do. Can I
So,
just say there was a picture with Barry Sanders, Eminem,
mhm,
Calvin Johnson.
Big Sean,
Was it Big Sean? Okay. I'm like,
yeah,
who was it? It was a rap.
it was
And
Barry Sanders, Big Sean, Calvin Johnson, um, and I think Aiden Hutchinson maybe.
I like my inner child.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, and then it got better because then we got like a Jalen Rose, Chris Webber.
yeah,
Like it was just I felt like because one team decided to be good,
yep,
we all benefited. It was like all of
absolutely,
my childhood dreams were
yeah,
back. And it was like all the music I grew up with, and you know me, I still kind of listen
yep,
to the same music, but like all the music I grew up with, all the things that I feel like were my sports memories,
yes.
literally, I got to see it. It was like, I'm like, this
Yes.
is amazing. This is
The Lions,
fantastic.
the Lions winning is good for everything Detroit, everything Michigan. Like,
Yeah,
like
it
I
was
made a
nice.
statement, and I'm gonna get back to your playoff question. I made a statement to a few people. I said the Lions. Now, mind you, the Red Wings have like a bunch of Stanley Cup championships. The
Okay.
Pistons have three. The
Yeah.
Tigers even have one, going back to '84. The Lions, if they had even made the Super Bowl, this would have been the biggest thing that ever happened to Detroit. And I'm not discrediting anything.
Yeah.
I'm not, because I was there in '04 when I was at the parade and all of that. Like I know what it is feels like to be a champion in a town. Like it feels amazing. But if the Lions had just gone,
Yeah.
oh my God, man, Detroit would have been tore up. But
I'm not kidding you. I feel like that night, so I don't know. I was talking to somebody or whatever, and I said, oh my God, the Lions were going to the Super Bowl. and I'm going, and I need to see what the line is, because I might bet on them against the Chiefs. Like that, like there was at a point where I was watching that game, and I just thought, you guys can run the ball, you can stop the run, like all the things you talk about in football.
We were up 24-7 at halftime.
Yeah, and all the different measurables that you measure in football, you guys have it. And I thought, this is their time, and we all get to see it. And well, obviously, but it was exciting to at least think about that for a minute, because
we were 30 minutes away. And I mean, to answer your question about Dan Campbell going for it, I know people have been waiting. I really feel like this, right? It was a lot of stuff that happened in that game. We were up 24-7. In the second half, it was a bunch of wonky stuff that started happening. The bounce off his helmet, like guys weren't making tackles that they were making. Like we were 3 and out every time. But what I think really, really hurt was, what's his name? Reynolds, number 8. Reynolds dropped a couple of key balls.
He did.
One would have been a touchdown. One would have been a first down.
He did.
Amir Gibbs fumbled. Because you got to know, in the second half, no matter what happens, they're at home. It's all or nothing.
It's time. Yeah, it's time.
Back. The momentum is it's inevitable. It's in sport.
Yeah.
And so when all those things happen, and even when Gibbs fumbled, we were still up by 7. But I was like, bro, this is not looking good. And I didn't want to speak negatively. I never wanted to throw in the towel and say it's over, because it wasn't, right?
It wasn't, yeah.
When he first went for the first 4th down, I was okay with it. But when the game started going and the game is tied now and they go up, and it's like, now you got to tie the game. You got to stay in it. Like, you had the lead, you lost the lead. Now you got to pick it back up. So go ahead and go for the tie. I was upset at the second field goal. Like that, I mean, at the second
attempt to go for it.
Right. I was upset at that, but I think I was still more upset at the players, because you got to execute. The coach is going to call what he's going to call, but the players have to carry it out. And so my frustration level was 51-49 on the player side versus Campbell. I wasn't mad at Campbell, because I'm like, what do you do?
He's been doing it all year. Year. And dare I say, it was the right play call. Jared Goff made the right read. Like, it catch the ball. I mean, you gotta catch the ball.
Jared Goff, he can be a little frustrating sometimes, because it's like when it's like 3rd or 4th down, like he does like that happy feet thing, and then he almost like throws it off his back foot, which is putting him off balance, and then it's like he throws it to like the receiver's foot. He does that a lot.
He does. Jared Goff, I'm just gonna say, my heart. Jared Goff might be the weakest link.
And you know what? That's okay. That's okay, because Jared doesn't have to win it.
Right. And
that's what I love.
And you know what's funny? I agree with you. Yeah. And I wish that more coaches would be honest with what they have and act accordingly. That's why you need a good offensive line, a good run game, good that is how
you need a good backup too.
You do. And Jared Goff wasn't the reason they lost that game, by the way. He played well enough to win. It's just everything else didn't.
That's the key phrase right there. Well enough.
He played well enough to win. It wasn't his fault.
If you do your job well enough, then we should win.
Yeah, but everybody else got to do theirs.
That didn't do their job well enough. You can't fumble in the NFC Championship game. You can't drop balls on 3rd down. You can't. That's something you can't do.
Yeah, I agree.
Then you get the result like we did. And I was really upset with Josh Reynolds after the game, man. This dude went in the locker room. They interviewed him. He got his head down, and he going to say something. Yeah, we didn't make enough plays. No, dude, you didn't make enough plays. Like, seriously. You should have said, I should have dropped them balls. I'm trying to be solid for my team all year, but I had a couple of messed up moments, man. And, that's what he should have said. And I'm glad he plays for the Broncos now, because I don't like that.
I don't like it either. It's probably the most frustrating. It's It's the best. It's my favorite thing about the difference between college and pro sports. If a college athlete says that, I just bite my tongue and I let him make it. And I'm like, it's a whatever. He hasn't been media trained enough. I'll give him all kinds of excuses.
Right.
When a professional athlete says that, I'm ready to fight because I'm like, you know the deal, bruh. Like, you're making millions. What are you?
And that's what I love about like guys like Penei Sewell and the younger guys, like when they get in those huddles and they be like, man, it's all or nothing. Like don't leave nothing on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys get it. They're like, bro, I'm 24, but we know it's how hard it is to get here. And Campbell has preached that since day one.
Good for him.
He preached it in 21. He said, we got to turn it around. In 22, they turned it around. In 23, he said, listen, we're here, guys. We're here.
Time.
It's time.
Yeah.
And I'm just really proud that we have a regime that turned a 2-win season into 12 wins in 3 years. I mean,
I think it might be the best. I think it's the best story right now. I mean, I think that CJ Stroud and the Texans are getting love because I feel like they're the darlings of the NFL. And young quarterback, adorable, just young, just young and fun and vibrant, and it just looks good. It feels good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if they're the darlings, I definitely think the Lions are the story because it's like and obviously in the AFC North there's the Browns, but it's different because it's like it's just different. So I like, and I feel like Jared Goff was kind of a castaway. I mean, gets his team to the Super Bowl, does everything he's supposed to do, and yet his coach turns to him and is like, "But you're not my guy." It's like, how do you not then cheer for that guy?
Everybody wrote him off. He was supposed to be. Jared Goff was supposed to be a plug or what's the word?
A bridge.
Thank you. A bridge. They were considering, and I remember this. Justin Fields. They were considering guys like.
Oh, I'm so happy we have Justin.
Because in that draft, it was. What's the guy with the long hair that plays for Jacksonville?
Trevor Lawrence,
Zach Wilson, like those two.
Oh, you're right. They were all in the same draft.
That was the same draft, and then Justin Fields was on that draft too, and because it was like Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell, all these guys. It was a nice, Chase. That was a nice draft. And everybody, all the Lions, well, not all Lions fans, but some of the Lions fans were like, let's get Justin Fields, that's real. And my thing was, I already loved what we were doing. Our GM, Brad Holmes, was building that O-line. Because you draft Justin Fields, he's going to be running for his life in Detroit, just like he was running for his life in Chicago.
Facts.
So I was glad that we drafted Sewell. I was glad we drafted Ragnow. See, those offensive lineman picks are not sexy picks, but those are 10-year, 12-year guys that hold it down. They block. They become all pro bowlers. They open holes for running back. So
listen, I'm a Steelers fan. You're preaching what we do is
y'all literally have never had a sexy draft.
No, I think I told you that.
I don't know if you could say Roethlisberger, but
because at the time, again, I was younger, but at the time it was, who is this rugged guy from Miami? I'm like, he has a big arm. He can be athletic, but no way that translates, Those are our guys. And I don't know if you remember how Ben used to dress back in the day. Like he used to dress like he had some black friends with his baggy pants, with his chains on, and I was just like, oh God, is this our guy for real?
Yeah.
And yes, the answer is yes. That was our guy.
Man, you guys, listen, from the linebackers, from Shazier to the linebacker that they drafted, Devin Bush out of Michigan.
Yeah.
Cam Hayward. I mean, they never TJ. Sorry. They always just get it right.
That's what you asked. Like, how do you feel about the draft? And what did I tell you? I was like, honestly, I'll figure it out. We'll figure out how good they are when the game starts. And I think it's just trust. They know what they're doing, and I trust that they know what they're doing. The funny thing is as I've been a Steelers fan, I don't think we've ever won the off season. Like, I just don't think that's a Steeler thing.
Right.
Like, no one usually says
Yeah.
the Steelers won the offseason because we just don't do things that are
and that doesn't
sexy.
even matter anyway.
It doesn't.
Because you can't win an offseason until you get on the field. Anyway.
It means nothing.
It means nothing.
Yeah.
It's all on paper. Yeah.
It means nothing. So tell me about free agency. How did the Lions do in free agency? What were some of your favorite pickups?
My favorite signing was the DJ Reader, the DT out of Cincinnati.
Okay.
We signed him, DJ Reader. Gave him a nice contract. I like the trade we did for Carlton Davis, the cornerback out of Tampa Bay.
Yeah, because that secondary was getting cooked.
Yep. Yeah, our secondary. And then too, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is back to Philly. Cam Sutton, that whole situation was crazy. Of course, your former Steeler. Cam Sutton got into that situation where he was on the run. So we had to release him. And so we got 3 cornerbacks. We got Carlton Davis. We got Amik Robertson from Vegas. And we re-signed what's the guy name that he played for the Niners and he signed with us last year, tore both Achilles. But we re-signed him.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He tore both?
Listen, he tore his Achilles with the Niners. That offseason, we signed him. 2023 offseason, we signed him.
Okay.
As soon as he was cleared to play, he tore his other one in that game, in the first game back.
Oh my!
Emmanuel Mosley is his name.
And is he back right now?
And they re-signed him again because they only signed him to a 1-year deal. It was like a 1-year deal. Yeah. So,
oh my God, bless his heart.
Bless his heart. But the good thing about it is we got 3 cornerbacks, and then we draft our first 2 picks in the draft were cornerbacks. We got.
You know what? Yeah. That's what I call a Steelers draft.
Yep.
You have needs.
Yeah.
You go get them. It's
simple.
Like
it's like what the Packers do too. The Packers do it all the time. And the Vikings.
It's simple.
Yep.
It's simple. It's not pretty. It's not perfect. It won't jump off the page. It won't do any of the things. But what it will do is it will give you consistency at what you need. Just go get what you need.
Yes.
That's it.
So Terrion Arnold, I think he's gonna be our number 1 corner this year.
Okay.
He's a dog. Like I watched you ever watch this thing called Hey Rookie?
I feel like it's come across my.
You might have seen it pass on the screen or something.
Yeah, I think I've seen it on my feed.
Yeah, so they feature 4 rookies that are going through the combine, and they show them through the draft and all that. Terrion Arnold was one of them, and I actually didn't happen to see it till after the draft, so I really wasn't super familiar with him. I just kept hearing the name Kool-Aid McKinstry, cornerback out of Alabama.
Yeah,
Terrion Arnold was one, and Kool-Aid was the other. So those were the top 2 corners at Alabama. We ended up getting Terrion Arnold. Kool-Aid went in the 2nd round to the Saints, I think.
Well, yeah, because the draft was freaking weird with all of the quarterbacks and then offense. And I'm like, what is going on?
It wasn't a defensive player taken until pick 15.
15 and then 16, hook 'em. Murphy gets off the board and goes to Seattle. And I'm just like, this is the weirdest draft. And I feel like it's so, I don't know, but that's what the draft is. It's like, you just never know. Is everyone going to trade up? Are they going to keep their picks? And then all of a sudden it's like quarterback frenzy. And I don't know. I just 50% of the guys that went, I'm like, we'll see. I mean,
it was crazy. It was definitely crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. So tell me about, sorry, I'm a grandma and I have my fan on. I'm like, why are you stopping? I'm cold. So tell me about your biggest concern going into the season. So I know that before you said like the Lions are going to the Super Bowl. Great. Let's go with that. But what are your concerns? So like if we're having this conversation on March 1st and they didn't go to the Super Bowl, what do you think would be the reasons why?
That's a really good question. I love it. Can I give you 2 reasons?
You can give me as many as you want. This is your interview. I'm just facilitating.
I love it. So the first thing is we're no longer sneaking up on teams anymore. Like they're gonna give us their best. Even though we're not the Chiefs and the Niners, but we're there, like we're up there. Like we're
you're relevant.
Yeah, we're top, I would say top 16 any year.
Okay.
because of how we're building this thing. Like it's
Yeah.
like everybody can see it's no longer, oh, they started the season 1-6, finished 8-9. Oh, you know, they're a Cinderella story. No, we followed up an 8-9 turnaround and made it 12-5 and then won 2 playoff games. So that's a 14-win season. And what I love about it is everybody was talking about us that offseason, the 23 offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little nervous. I'm like, man, they giving us the Chiefs the first game of the season. Everybody talking about it. Oh, this Lions team is serious. And it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. It feels good. But it's a little scary because it's like now we're getting this is super target on our back.
Mm-hmm.
And we played through the target. We stayed healthy because, you know, it's a lot of things that have to go right in a season. You need some luck. You need some skill. You need some depth. You need great coaching. You need some decent, you need a lot of things for it to go
I agree.
right?
Yep.
So one of the things I think we really need this year is we got to stay healthy. Like health. Now, there are teams like you look at the Cleveland Browns, they went through 4 quarterbacks and still made the playoffs. Like that's amazing. Like that doesn't happen. It just doesn't. Because I mean, look at it. You look across the way and look at the Jets. Aaron Rodgers goes down, their whole season goes away.
Yeah, I have a theory about teams. I always say the strength of the team is not in anything. The strength of a team is in their backups because it's the same with my Steelers.
And then the backups.
It's the same with my Steelers because it's like, you know, we haven't had a quarterback. I don't even remember how long we've had a quarterback because Ben's last 2 years were actually terrible in some freaking way. He made playoffs, but that's whatever. But because if your center goes out and he can't get his shoe right, the next guy you come in, like, so your backups like have to be a part of it. And I feel like most teams that end up doing well, you look back and you say, A, they were able to stay healthy, like the core was able to stay healthy and things like that. But then B, it's always that random guy or the, you know what I'm saying? Like the second string punter that you randomly signed in week 14. You know what I mean? That's like coming out, changing field position. It's like and so I feel like that's the health, and that is what Tomlin does really well. Is he doesn't just build a team, he fills his roster, and that is I think that's one of the keys to success. Is don't build your team. We know the starters. Who's the next guy? Who's the next guy up?
That's important. So you got to stay healthy. Our O-line, we have one of the top O-lines in the NFL.
Okay.
And I don't know if you noticed or not, but number 77, our center, Frank Ragnow, he almost retired this offseason.
Oh, he came back?
He was nicked up. He was just like, man, I played about 7 years. Like, I'm good, bro. And somehow either his wife or somebody talked him back into it. He's going to play another year. And we brought back our offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, who was a super hot ticket on the coaching market.
Okay.
We brought back Ben Johnson. So our offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, and our defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, have been they've been interviewed the last couple of off seasons. They both came back. Our center came back. Like when you get guys back, and we re-signed Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 years, like 180. I know he's getting.
Damn, really?
Yeah. He got a. I'm sorry, 4 years, 120. 4 years, 120. And then Penei Sewell, the right tackle that I talked about, that was in the Justin Field draft. He was re-signed 4 years, 112.
Yeah, I never get mad at those guys getting money. I can't. On
especially
code
when they're all pros or they perform. Like every year, St. Brown has, and I mean, this is a 4th round guy. This is a 4th round pick. You got to pay him like a 1st round guy when he performs.
Yeah,
every year
I love that.
100 catches, 1,000 yards every year.
Yeah. Well, and let's be honest, like when you're good and you play in the NFL, certain guys get concessions. And so the talk back was probably like, listen, okay, is your body? All right, cool. Listen, Wednesday, Thursday, light day. You know what I mean? Like, but that's what he earned it, you know, like that is, I don't know. There's something about football to me that's like so pure and so chaotic and so business that I love it all. Like if it was separate, I don't think I would like it. But because there's like salary caps and divisions and rivals and coaching and these are grown men and like there's all these like cool factors and I'm like I love this is like it's like my image, it's like a hodgepodge of things and you're just like and it's pretty but it's not that pretty during the week. It's only pretty on Sunday, hopefully, if you're lucky.
Right about it. Right about it.
Well, tell me about your schedule. So you all probably have a little bit of a tougher schedule than maybe you have previously. As of this recording, the actual official schedule isn't out yet. Right. But you know who's home, who's away. Obviously, there's tons of rumors going around and leaks and this and that.
Right.
But I would love to know from your position as a Lions fan. I'm going to be honest. I don't know a lot about what is it, the NFC North.
Yep.
I don't know a lot about the NFC North. It's probably one of the divisions I probably know the least about. Okay. Let me check myself. No, it's not. The AFC East.
Okay.
As far as like individual like teams and stuff like that. And then where I'm located, I don't see a lot of those games. So I'm curious to know like what games do you look at and you're like, okay, right, we got to play these guys in our division. But like the other, like how do you look at your schedule as a Lions fan?
So of course we play everybody in our division twice. Last year we were 4-2 in the division. We beat everybody once, and we lost to the Packers and the Bears. We beat the Vikings twice.
How did you lose to the Bears?
Because the Bears aren't
just a rival.
It was like honestly, the Bears. Justin Fields has had the Lions number the last few years. And you're so glad y'all got him.
You do listen. Well,
I remember the posts and everything. Like,
listen,
ecstatic.
But do you remember like 2 or 3 years ago when we played them on Monday night? And actually, Chicago should have won that game. They got screwed. And that night, this was back when I was on Facebook. That night, I was like, what I would do to have Justin Fields be a Steeler. Like, I saw who we were and I saw who he was. And I was like,
he needs the right situation.
Yeah. And anyway, so yes, I am beyond excited to have Justin Fields. I also don't expect him to be the starter unless something happens to Wilson.
Not this year.
And he'll have to earn it, and I think he'll get to learn and and all the things. This isn't about me, but yes, anytime you say his name, I'm like.
Well, we lost to the Bears. We did lose to the Bears and the Packers. It was one of those games where it's like, okay, you like going into the game, you felt like you were going to win it, and the Lions were like, I think we may have been like 8-3 when we lost that game. But it happens. It's just one of those things that, it does happen. Good teams lose to bad teams all the time. And it really
Tell me about it.
To show you that it's the NFL like any given Sunday. And Justin Fields is amazing. He just didn't have the right setup. So with that being said, we were 4-2 last year. 2022, we were 5-1.
Okay.
We lost to the Vikings once. And then but we beat everybody else twice. We beat the Bears, beat the Packers twice, which is one of the reasons I remember sending Aaron Rodgers on his way, see him walk up that tunnel with number 18. I can't remember his name right now.
So how amazing is it that you don't have Aaron Rodgers in your division anymore?
Oh, I love it. But to be honest with you, but to be honest with you, if there ever was a time to play Aaron Rodgers, I would love to play him now because I feel like we're ready. We
feel like you're ready to go. Fair. Okay, that's good.
So we got, of course, all those 3 teams on the road and then all those 3 teams at home. Aside from that, it looks like we're playing the AFC South.
Oh, so you get the Titans, the Texans.
We got the Titans, Jags, Texans, and Colts. We got the Jags and Titans at home, and we got the Texans and Colts away.
Ooh, that'll be a good one. With the Texans.
Yep. So we'll play in Houston this year. We also, so I'll give you all the away games, which will be tougher obviously than home. Bears, Packers, Vikings, Cardinals. So I'm definitely going to that game. I have to be there because I live in Arizona.
Yeah.
Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys.
Interesting. Okay. And then who do you have
At home?
at home?
At home, we got the Bears, Packers, Vikings again. Rams, so Stafford will be coming back again. Seattle, which this is the third straight year that Seattle is playing at our home, and they beat us the previous two, so I'm ready to take some heads off.
Okay.
Jacksonville, Tennessee, Tampa Bay, and Buffalo.
Listen, if I had that schedule too, I would be like, even as I don't ever say the Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl. At this point, I say I don't know. I can't call it. I don't know. We'll figure it out maybe. I don't even know. But that's a favorable schedule to you never know what the Colts are going to be.
I think we can win another 11 or 12 this year, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't see a reason why we can't, because there's nobody that we can't beat. And it feels good to say that. It feels good to say with a clear heart, I think we can beat anybody, home or away. It doesn't matter. I mean, you see how we destroyed San Francisco in the first half of 24-7.
Yeah.
And this is the team that's going to the Super Bowl. Like,
let me just tell you something. The only team that you probably would have trouble with would be the Steelers. Want to know why? We're not anything, but whenever we play a good team, we're everything.
You know what's funny? The last time the Lions played the Steelers, which was our 2-win season, this was Dan Campbell's first year there.
The tie.
The tie. We had a tie. And it was away. And I feel like the weather was like nasty, wasn't it?
It was terrible. It was the one where, it was raining. It was the side rain. It was the one where the rain was coming. Yeah. So some people had the ball and literally the rain was coming in on them.
Yeah.
And then it was like nobody could do anything. I mean, nobody could punt the ball. Nobody could run the ball. I mean, it was literally.
What was the score? Like 13-13 or something?
It was stupid. It was dumb. It was just stupid. And you know what's actually terrible? Now I want to look it up. What's terrible was it was probably like 17-17. Like, I just feel like it was one of those ugly.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. My Steelers are in ugly games. Like, that's who we are.
I've always respected and loved the Steelers, man. Like, the way that you guys conduct business with, even like when Shazier got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way they handled that. Like, just the way the Rooneys they've only had 3 coaches in the last 60 years or something, 50, 30.
It's wild. I feel like the Steelers are so weird that, and I've told you this before, like, I'm such a privileged fan that I've been privileged for so long that I don't even realize I'm privileged. To me, it's just this is how I get to be a fan, because we always kill it in the draft. We always go get who we're supposed to get in free agency. We always figure it out in rookie mini camp. We cut who we need to cut. We always have a really good practice squad. You know what I mean? It's just like, literally Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season.
That's amazing. 17 years, never had a losing season. My only knock against the Steelers.
Say it.
Is the quarterback. Like, what were you thinking? Mitchell Trubisky? Like,
I found it. It was 16-16.
I knew it was something like that.
On November 14th.
That was the first score that came to my head, but I said 13 because I'm like, well, maybe we didn't score a lot. But yeah.
16-16.
That's a field goal fest. Yeah, that's maybe 1 touchdown and like 3 field goals.
So we scored a touchdown first quarter. Second quarter, it was 10 to y'all scored a touchdown. So at halftime, it was 10-10.
Okay.
And then you guys looked like you had a touchdown but missed the extra point. Then we had a field goal, and then we had a field goal to probably tie it and send it to the terrible overtime.
So y'all kicked 3 field goals. We got 2 touchdowns and 1.
So that was in 2021. So here's the thing. There was a time where I knew Ben didn't have it anymore. And people that know me, that are very close to me, always say that I would be a very strict GM. And I'm like, I wouldn't be strict. I would just know when it's time to move on, because I could see Ben couldn't make certain throws, and I wasn't even at practice. The second I started to see it, I was frustrated that our coaching staff didn't go try to fix it.
Yep.
And I felt like they tried to put Band-Aids on it.
Yep.
And they said our defense will carry us. And in a weird way, our defense has carried us.
Yep. And running
but they're only going to carry you so far. And we played this game for what seems like 5-6 years. A couple of years before Ben actually retired. And then since he's been retired. And so that's why now it's like about time.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't put Band-Aids on a gunshot.
No.
But you know, this offseason, and I already knew it. Like right when the season ended, they were interviewing Coach Tomlin, and I think I like DM'd you about this, and he was like, they were like, do you think that your current quarterback is on this roster right now? And he was like, yes. And I'm like, bro.
Right. And what did I tell you? He lying.
That was the biggest lie ever told, because not only is basically none of the quarterbacks are on the roster still from the end of last year. You got a whole other quarterback room now.
You know how NFL fan bases work, right? It's like you never agree on anything, right? You never agree on who you want to be your head coach. You never agree who you want to be offensive coordinator. You never agree with players you draft. Like you just never agree. Mm-hmm. This offseason, I feel like the only thing we haven't all agreed with is we didn't pick up Najee's 5th-year option. Mm-hmm. That might be the first, and think about what I'm saying here. So that means free agency, draft, every coaching hires. We've all collectively been like, that was a good hire. Mm-hmm. Thank you for getting rid of him. Thank you. Like that never happened. That's why but I've said, like, we're either going to the Super Bowl or we're going to have Mike Tomlin's going to have his first losing season. I don't think because it's never been like this. It's never been this smooth. So that I have somebody coming on to talk about the Steelers with me.
Mike Tomlin will never have a losing season with the Steelers.
Yeah. Can you imagine if it's like Lions Steelers?
What, the Super Bowl?
Yeah, because that could happen.
It could happen. Y'all, it's tough, but it's tougher to make it out the AFC than it is the NFC.
Thank you, preach. That's what I always say.
And listen, y'all have a quarterback conference. Like y'all got quarterbacks. Even teams that didn't make the playoffs, like the Chargers, have
listen.
Quarterbacks.
Public service announcement. If you're listening to this right now, I did not tell him to say this. I did not prep him to say this. Oh. He on his own said AFC has better quarterbacks than the NFC because I've been saying this for like a year or two. And because when you line it up, it's like you said, it's not even close.
And Aaron Rodgers joining only like that just added.
That's what I said.
I mean, you literally, in no particular order, you got Mahomes, Rodgers, you got what's the Bengals quarterback name?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
I have a list. Justin Herbert, however you say his name.
He's up there. Yep.
CJ Stroud.
Tua,
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
Yeah. Come on. You literally got MVP. All those guys are like MVP caliber.
I know.
All of them.
Listen, tell me about it.
Yeah.
I know that we've been talking for a while. I don't know if this is my longest episode. I don't know. So what do you want the people to know about your team? People watching this that will listen to this that have seen the Lions kind of rise from the ashes is very dramatic. But what do you want people to know about the Lions? Just like as a fan, what is y'all's thing? Is it One Pride?
One Pride.
That's so cool. Like the Lion Pride.
Yeah, One Pride. All grit. One Pride, all grit. Yeah. So
that just clicked. I love that.
Yeah, I love it too. They've been doing the One Pride thing probably since like 2016 or something like that.
I love that.
Yep.
And
they just added a hashtag like all grit.
I don't like that as much. I love the One Pride. Yeah. So the other one I love that I'm obsessed with is Bill's Mafia.
I love Bill's Mafia.
I just like,
what's
it's like
Niner gang bang. Gang bang, Niner
I
gang.
don't like it. And I talked to the Niners fan. I was kind of like, eh.
Bang
The
bang,
only,
Niner gang. That's what it is. Gang bang,
are we
Niner
still
gang.
talking about sports? Like, I don't like. And then I talked to somebody else, Tighten Up, and I'm like, eh. You know,
I like
some
them
of them,
all. Tighten
yeah,
up.
some of them have a good like One Pride.
Yeah, One Pride. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So that's awesome. So let's talk about you a little bit. Tell people where they can find you. Tell people what you're into, what you're interested in, because if you don't, I will.
That's what's up. That's very kind of you. So yeah, once again, my name is Jason Rutley. My Instagram is jrutmusic. I'm a singer-songwriter and recording artist. I have a remix album that I dropped in February. I'm working on my debut album. Um, I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and recently TikTok. But yeah, I'm just a singer songwriter, man. Lions die hard. Only thing I talk about on Twitter is the Lions. Like I don't even talk about anything else. But yeah, die hard Lions fan. I've been through 0-16 season in 2008. We've been through it all. I mean, like I said, I grew up, basically living in the Silver Dome. So yeah, yep.
If I play your song, are you going to copyright me?
No, no.
No. Okay. So
Yeah, no.
maybe when I edit, I will find a way
Okay.
to put it. I should have done it on the intro. Maybe I'll find a way.
Okay.
And if you give me a copyright strike, I know who to
No.
talk to.
Do the which one are you thinking about playing? The skate version?
How about this? Because I like options. Give me a couple of options
All right.
of what you think, and then I'll pick one.
I think the skate
Nope.
party remix is
You like this?
like,
So I kind of this is
then I like the
different.
Steppers one too, the Step and Groove one. Yeah, you like that one?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. So either one of those, or
Yeah.
the Dancing Souls. I think those are the three that are like kind of like the up tempo ones.
Yeah, and I'll make sure whenever I do, I'll put all your stuff, I'll put all your information in the description. If I don't put all your information in the description, at some point I will add it because I always say like, oh yeah, my video, look at the video above. I never tag the video. Listen, that's not where I shine. Okay, it's not where I shine. I'm doing my best. Well, awesome. Is there anything else you want us to know? Have you sung the national anthem?
Yes.
For the Lions.
For the Pistons twice.
I know you've done it for the Pistons. You haven't done it for the Lions.
I haven't done it for the Lions. I need that connect. You know what? It's funny. I got a friend that and I posted on my IG page. So if you guys go to at jrutmusic, JRUTMUSIC at jrutmusic. I just posted my boy. This is a guy that I did praise. Also I sing praise and worship at my local church here in Arizona and at my churches when I was in Michigan. But I have a friend that I did praise and worship with. His name is Caleb Carroll, and he's saying "God Bless America" and the Star Spangled Banner for the Lions like countless times. He actually just did the national anthem for the draft, the NFL
really?
Draft.
Oh, because it was in Detroit.
Yep, it's on my page. I posted it. So
I love that.
Yeah, it's a clip, maybe like 30 seconds, like the end of the national anthem. But he's amazing as well. That's my boy. And so yeah, but yeah, I need to reach out to him about that connect because clearly he's done the national anthem at the Tigers and the Lions. The Lions,
that's awesome.
He's done a national anthem. He's done a halftime show. So I need to be like, yo, man, what's up on the connect? Because I definitely want to do it. I'll kill it. I'll tear it up.
I love that. Well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. I appreciate the fact that this is where you're at and you get to talk about your team joyfully and all the wonderful things that are happening. And you have goals and dreams and expectations. Like, it's just nice that I know. Yeah, of course. And obviously, like, thank you for just like being you, being supportive, being willing to jump on. Nobody will know what time this is recorded, but you know what we've been through trying to get this scheduled. So I just appreciate you figuring it out and working with me. And just know I appreciate you. Keep being amazing. I want to hashtag One Pride in something that I do now. I don't know how or what, but I will figure it out because I'm obsessed.
Let's do it.
And because my favorite movie is Lion King. I'm like, this is all working together.
Speaking of Lion King, I've seen a lot of memes where he's sitting there with his son And they're like, "What's that right there, Dad?" And he's like, That's the Super Bowl. The Lions have never been. We'll never go there or something." But they can't say that no more in a minute. Like
Yeah.
in a minute, we'll be
Well,
able to take that
that's
down.
the meme. So there's that one. They do that for the Cowboys too.
Hmm.
And then the one where Mufasa is holding Simba,
Hmm.
somebody has a fake thing where he throws him. And so, and so people will say like, is this your king or whatever? And he'll
That's
throw Simba,
funny.
and they'll be like, this is what the quarterback looked like when he was throwing the ball tonight, or like,
Yeah,
so that's the other kind of like
I
Lion
love
King
it.
meme I see often.
I love it.
So that's not that's
I'm gonna answer your question too as we exit. You said
yeah.
like what team will be tough to play? It's gonna be Dallas because they always cheat us when we go there. Like every single time we go to Dallas, they cheat us. Like no matter what.
You're right. They did it in the playoffs
You remember
too.
the playoffs? That was on my birthday in 14 ish, like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Yep, they
you're
picked up
right.
the
I remember
flag.
that.
Yep, I don't forget any of that.
When
Yep.
I realized the Lions were for real is this year when the Cowboys cheated them
Hmm.
and everybody was in sync and in unison
Yep.
on yes, Lions got cheated instead of saying what does it even matter? It's the freaking Lions, because usually
Yep.
that's what happens, right? If your team's
Yep.
like
And we
terrible,
deserve to lose because Campbell shouldn't have kept going for it. You go for it a
no,
couple of times,
you don't
fine.
deserve to lose when you won the game and you got cheated out of the win.
I know, but
No, you won the
you
game
know,
actually.
I know. I get it. I
Anyways,
mean,
now I'm getting frustrated.
that was our 13th win right there. And they just
There it
snatched it
is.
away.
That's true. That's true. That's the NFL for you. And that's the other factor that I listed all my things about the NFL and I
Yep.
forgot to mention the narrative the NFL wants to spin and who's going to get calls and what offensive line is going to be able to hold and what
Yep.
so there's
And I
always
mean, I thought that this was the year that they were going to start loving the Lions a little bit. I mean,
yeah.
we've been getting some love, but when it comes down to it, I always say this because I hate blaming the refs. Play to the point where the refs are not a factor. Just go ahead and
Yeah.
take care of business.
Yeah. It's like in fighting, right? UFC,
Yep.
boxing, it's like if you don't want the refs to make the decision, knock
Yep.
the guy out.
Do
Or
it.
girl
Do your
or
thing.
woman out or whatever. But
Exactly.
anyways, I'm gonna end this now. I appreciate you. Thank you for connecting.
Thanks for having
And
me.
I will make sure I need to make sure to put one of the remixes in here so it's fun.
All
But
right.
anyways, thanks.
Thank you, fam. Talk soon.